All right, so let's take a look at how FinanIQ actually works. When you first log in, you'll come to this screen. And the first time you set up FinanIQ, what you want to do is click on the Financial Data tab. And for the period you're looking at, whether it's monthly or the previous quarter or the previous year, and the one that you want to analyze on going forward, you just enter some of the basic information here. So you go in and you'll enter your revenue, obviously, and your direct costs. Anything green is a cell you can enter in, and anything gray is a cell that the software does the work for you. Enter your overhead and some simple information, total number of customers, and the total transactions. And this tab is done. Then we start entering your customers. And the way FinanIQ works, and these are all made up names that you see on here, is a couple things. You enter your customer's name, and let me just enter one in here quickly so you can see how it works. Their total sales over the same period that you just entered the financial data for. And let's say that was $6,500. And then gross profit, if you know the gross profit you made for an individual customer, let's say you track your costs by job or by customer, you can enter that in here, and then you give a resonance score, which you'll know about from some of the found money concepts. Now, what you can also do, because in a lot of businesses, we don't know the exact gross profit of a client, so you can just click this button here and use the average gross profit percentage based on the numbers you've entered. So you click that, and it just recalculates. You see now it's figured out that you made $2,600. Now this information isn't perfect. It's much better to have exact information about the gross profit of each customer, but even averages move us along the right direction and give us the picture we're going to need to have about the things we can do to start driving towards the financial results we want. And again, if you want to add a new customer, you click this button here and it clears it out and you start entering the new customer. And let's go, I'll be really creative here and just reverse my name, and 4,000, I'm going to use the average. And this is why you enter the data on the financial screen first of all, because it's that information that drives this automatic calculation out of the algorithm to calculate the gross profit. Once you've got that record in, you go up and click the commit button. And that's important because if you don't click the commit button, it won't actually save your record into the software. And if you're not sure if you've entered anybody, you can use the previous customer or next customer buttons down here and just scroll through backwards and forwards. Once you've entered all of your customers, you can click on the customer profitability map, which is a concept out of the Found Money book. And then the software has simply taken it and plotted your customer profitability map so you can see all your customers. Now, why that's important is, let's just step back. So now you've entered some simple financial information, and you've entered information about your customers as well. And the information about the customers, what's important to realize is you don't have to enter all of your customers. If you have hundreds and hundreds of customers, that's fine, because what happens if, let's say I had 100 customers and I entered information for 10 of them, because we're all busy in our business and you're not going to sit there and enter hundreds of customers. Well, the software takes the sample you've created and entered for your customers and projects that out based on the total customers and total transactions you've entered on the financial data tab. So you can save yourself a lot of time and still get really good information and understand where you need to go and use the software to guide you forward. So the CPM action tab, or customer profitability action tab, uses concepts out of the Found Money book, and it looks at total quadrant weighting and simply tells you how many of each customer fall into the different quadrants on your customer profitability map. And it tells you how much money, how much profit is represented by each of these customer types. And again, you can read more about each of these customer types by going to the FinanIQ website, where there's the content up there where we talk about these concepts, so you can learn about them as well. And then cross-sell potential simply says, well, if I took a certain percentage of my cross-sell quadrant customers and move them up to be a target more customer, again, remember to always use the commit button up here, and 10% there, and they'll go commit. Now I've locked it in. And then what the software does is it's going to recalculate, saying if I had these 10% of my clients and I move them to a target more, that's worth an extra $1,625 gross profit to me. etc., etc. And the same with the profit replacement potential. Again, you can follow that on. And this is informative and important because as you move into the targeting tab, this is where you're going to start to incorporate historical information about your business. Now, you don't have to re-enter this. This information right here has been calculated by the software based on the information you already entered on your customer tab and your financial data tab. Same as the current overhead. So again, the green cells, suppose I want an extra $6,500 over this period for my dream lifestyle. I click commit, and then you see down here, it will go ahead and recrunch the number for us, and it will make the difference. And commit, and then down here, you're going to start to see a target transaction size. So let me just make these 0 so you can see how this actually is going to work. So right now, target transaction size $1,500. That's what you have right now. And what we want, I have an extra $5,000 I want for my dream lifestyle. You can see, in fact, let's make it even bigger just to show you how this really can help you make decisions in your business. So based on my business right now, I've got a certain overhead and a certain net income. If I want to make an extra $10,000 for my dream lifestyle over that equivalent financial period, you can see that my business action, the software has done this math for us, so it'll actually need revenue of $87,500. And right now, down here, I'm only making $75,000, so I have this shortfall of $1,250, or $12,500, I mean, which again shows up here. So now how can we get rid of that? Well, we could increase our average transaction size. We could also maybe increase a few new customers. Maybe frequency, I'm going to say 0 there just for fun. And suppose I could increase my gross profit by 3%. I hit commit, and you see now it's recalculated and said, well, now my found money break-even revenue I need is $84,951. Notice it's not the $87,005 anymore, because when you change gross profit percentage, it also changes the total volume of sales you need. And here's the revenue that's projected if I do that based on new customers and how often they buy in the transaction size. So I'm close. I don't have a deficit of $12,500 anymore. I have the smaller deficit of $1,476. So suppose now I change that 5 to 6. I hit commit again. Now I'm getting closer. I'm only have a shortfall of 681. And if I hit commit again, there. I've now switched over to positive. So now, down here, the software is saying, these are the targets you need. Rather than making 1,500 on an average transaction, you now need to make 1,605. You need to target the number of customers as being 27. They need a purchase frequency of 2. And again, these are based on the numbers that were there, the historical numbers, changed for these inputs. And your gross profit margin needs to be 41.2%. This becomes very important because now on the tracking tab, or let me just reiterate this, you've now decided these targets, if you hit those targets, are going to get you to this dream lifestyle requirement of an extra $10,000. So the tracking, I go over here, and in my target here, remember it was 1605 for a transaction, and it was 27 clients, a frequency of 2, and what was the 41.2%? 0.412. I'm going to hit commit, and now that's in. So now what happens is I go forward into the periods, the next 5 periods out. This is my target. And suppose the next month out, I run my numbers and my average transaction size was $1,700. Or let's say it was $575. And my customers were 26. I'll leave that. Frequency was 2. And gross profit, let's say, was 39. Hit commit. Now what you see has happened down here. The total financial impact of these targets, so what we've done, we've moved off of our profit and loss statement in trying to measure financial results or manage financial results from that level, and we moved it down to the granular level in our business. We're looking at our transaction size. How many customers am I dealing with? How often do they deal with me? And what's the average gross profit margin I need? And you can see total financial impact negative $3,767. This is an important concept. That doesn't necessarily mean you've lost $3,767. That means that relative to your dream lifestyle target of that 10,000, we have a shortfall. And here's what's causing it. Well, our transaction size was actually lower than our target. So that cost us $608. Customers were slightly lower, so that cost us a certain amount. Frequency was the same, so there's no impact there. And gross profit margin cost us, because it was lower, $1,930. Now suppose that was 0.41 there instead, and I hit commit. Now what you see is we've lost $2,129 relative to our dream lifestyle, but it came at the cost of, we missed on transaction size, we missed on number of customers. Gross profit target was pretty much bang on. So if you looked at a profit and loss statement and said, well, hey, I'm off target by $2,000, FinanIQ, the software, says, hey, here's where it's happening. You need to go work on your transaction size because it's lower than your target. So maybe you have to sell some additional add-on products. Maybe it's a pricing issue. There's a number of things that might be there, but it's pinpointed to you as well as your customer impact number and said, look, your shortfall is due also to your customers. So there's our target. We fell short of the target, so I need to focus on these two areas and bring them back in line to get me to where I want to get to. And then you can do this for each subsequent month. What you can also do is say, look, I've got this negative 2,129. So next month, what does my target need to be to bring me back on target again? And let's say I put 16, 10, and 27 and 42% in there. You can now see that next period, if I do that, so if I get an average transaction size of 1,610, 27 customers, and a purchase frequency of 2, and a 42% target gross profit, next period I'm going to make $807 profit relative to my dream lifestyle target. But cumulatively, I'm still short by 1,322 because I had this loss relative to my dream lifestyle in period 1. So this can say, well, you're moving in the right direction, but it can also say, you have to reset this target because we fell short here, so we need to reset our target, and maybe the new target is 1,615, still not there. What happens if it went up to 1,650? Well, that'll do it for sure. Well, still not for sure, because you see we're still shortfall, so we're making more and more money here, but maybe I just need to get one more customer. There. Now not only have I made money the next period, I've erased this loss that I incurred in period 1 relative to my dream lifestyle, and now I'm ahead of the curve. So now I know, okay, next month, instead of shooting for 1605, I need 1650 and 28 customers. And so what you're doing by working through the software and using it this way is FinanIQ is pointing you to your targets. So instead of saying, go and increase sales 10% next month, or shave expenses by a certain amount, it's saying, look, go out and get 28 customers, sell them twice, make 42% each time, and have an average transaction size of 1650. What's amazing and fun about that is you can measure that every single time you have a transaction with a customer. You don't have to wait till the end of the month until your books are done or you can see it in your profit and loss. A customer walks out of your store, or you finish dealing with it, or they leave your office. You ask yourself, was the average transaction size 1,650? Does it look like I'm going to have a total of 28? And was the gross profit margin 42%? And if you answer yes to those, this might be the second day of a new month, and already you know that you're on target to hit your dream lifestyle. Now the overhead tab works very similarly. Here's your target because, again, you may be looking at increasing your dream lifestyle. You may have some changes to your overhead. It might be going up. It might be going down. And again, FinanIQ is sort of the anti-accounting software program. So you're not going to see hundreds and hundreds of line items breaking out overhead. Irrelevant. You can get that out of your profit and loss statement and your bookkeeping software. We're just taking some big numbers here that matter to you. Notice your dream lifestyle is in there. We've entered that in there because that's part of your overhead. And then as you track your actual against it, you're going to see the impact of it each single month. And then finally, under the summary tab, this is an important tab as well. And you keep revisiting this as you enter your information going forward. And it always looks at your actuals, compares them to the targets you had set for yourself, and breaks down, okay, so let's say my target net profit was $24,708. This period, period one, I made $24,229. The tendency is for business owners to say, well, that's not too bad. I'm only $500, give or take, short of my target of $24,708. But getting granular in the business, getting down to the level where you can actually affect things, means, well, of that shortfall, which is down here, we only lost $479 relative to this, right? The change between our target and what we actually got. So it might seem no big worry, but let's drill into that. Well, because I fell short of my transaction size, remember when I tracked it over here, and I was tracking transaction size, and I was lower than my target? Well, that actually cost me $640 of a loss. And my customer volume, I missed that target, so that cost me $1,292. My gross profit margin percentage was off target, so that cost me a little bit. And I had a little bit of extra overhead as well, and so that cost me. And this Dream Lifestyle Impact Row is critical, because what this is saying is I actually gained $2,000 in this period relative to my overhead. But again, the whole purpose of your business is to drive you towards your dream lifestyle. So basically, you almost hit your target, but you did it by not paying yourself your dream lifestyle target, which in this case was $2,000 a month, and I hit zero. So basically, you almost made it to your target, but you did it by not paying yourself what you needed for your dream lifestyle. So if this number is positive, it reaffirms to you, look, don't get complacent. Don't be happy or almost content with this. You actually lost $2,479 relative to your dream lifestyle because you didn't do what you wanted to, what you had planned to do, what you had budgeted for when you pulled this into your target. So that's how FinanIQ works. When you're all done, you simply click log off. It'll close you out of the software. And again, it saves real time. You don't have to do any saving. The only thing you do have to do, anytime you change a record, you hit commit. There you go. I hope you enjoy FinanIQ.